Put him in the common clutch and make him on the cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there will be. Acknowledge me.
My pants don't fit anymore, man. For Thanksgiving, I think I ate too much. I don't know.
God, don't even. The scale looked at me and said, "Get the off."
Man, happy Thanksgiving. This is the season, Cooter. We're getting ready for Christmas. We just saw Survivor Series, man. WarGames.
Yes.
It was a decent show, I think, overall. I mean, before we talk about anything, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I love this show. Here's a quick question for you. Do you like the fact that now we're getting WarGames at Survivor Series as opposed to those random elimination tag teams that we used to see when we were kids?
No, I kind of miss the Hulkamaniacs and the Ultimate Warriors or whatever. I miss that kind of aspect too.
Well, we hit the Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. Come on.
I know, yeah, they did. I mean, the War Games definitely adds something different to the whole aspect of Survivor Series. It is a Survivor Series, right? There's, they all start at different times, and then the match begins when they're all in the ring. So it's a Survivor Series kind of a match. So
it is.
It's definitely changing with the time. So I dig it, but I still miss those old school teams, and I kind of wish they would bring those back. But
I do believe when they did like Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, it did end up on the list of Credo.
It got too much of, and I like at that time I'm like, that's where I want the Hulkamaniacs. I want to see like those kind of a team where they unify, on
Is that why you got him over there today?
I got a little Hogan over here, a little Stone Cold action today, so,
There you go.
But no, overall, I think it fits what we're getting, and overall, it's a good show. I mean, it wasn't a stacked card like not a 45-minute, like a 5-hour and 45-minute show like AEW is trying to do with the 20 matches on the show or for a B pay-per-view. I mean, this had 5 matches for one of the top 4 shows of the year. So
what
it's
is that, like a 3, maybe 4-hour pay-per-view?
Yeah.
I don't remember what time, but it was like I went to bed nice and early, had to go to work the next morning.
I didn't realize it started at 6. I was late on the game. I'm like, what? It started already? I was like, oh man.
You're such a bad mark sometimes.
I know. I assume.
Pay attention, goddammit.
And when I assume, I make an ass out of you and me, right? I don't know. But I shouldn't have assumed at the time. But I caught it. I think I turned in on the Nakamura match. But let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
We have the women's war game match where Team Rhea won. What did you think about this match? Did it serve its purpose? Or what did you think? It was
I'm going to start off by saying I think the women's war game match, in work-wise, way better than the men's.
Yeah.
I think they kicked ass. I think some of the spots that they did were cool.
Io Sky with the garbage can, her own personalized garbage can.
She is f***ing psycho, and I love it. It just doesn't get any better than that. The balls to do that.
Not only are you jumping off a cage that's X amount of feet up in the air, but you're doing it with a garbage can on you, and you have no idea where you're going to land, if you're going to land, or what's going to happen, and it's pretty ballsy. I mean, it's pretty ballsy. I think she's kind of filling the void right now for Asuka being out, so they're kind of putting her in that role. But that's it. I mean, the women are stepping up, doing what they do. I think a lot of people were kind of knocking on Nia Jax during the match. Some people thought, I don't know, was she calling spots too loudly, or I don't know what she was doing, but a lot of people, I'm not saying anything about it,
Dude,
but a lot of people weren't a fan of it.
It's a fucking 2-ring contraption. Of course you got to be a little bit louder. These people are spread all over the place, like.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna have to cut that part out.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. Here's one for you. I kept making these. My predictions were horrible.
Yeah.
This time around, I was completely wrong every time. I had this theory going into it where they were trying to figure out who beat up Jade.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, what if it's Bianca? And what if she comes in at the end and costs them the match? Because, they're having this little rivalry about who's trying to get, number 1 contender for the belt and all this. I'm just like, that would be so cool. Completely off. I was kind of hoping that would be something, but because I don't know if she's legitimately hurt.
From what I saw, and that's just dirt sheet stuff, I think she's going to be out a few months. So I don't know what the exact injury was I read, but so I think she is going to be out.
I was kind of hoping that was going to be the way that they were going to go, and that was just like a work. But, that's a shame. Do you have any predictions for that one? Or
No, I didn't really have any predictions. I was still kind of worried about Rhea's face. She's been wearing the mask. She had that orbital bone socket thing where she broke it. She was wearing a mask. It got ripped off. So I'm thinking she's a little bit better now because I think the injury that she had wasn't like a severe thing. It was only like a few week kind of injury. Then she's good. So I didn't have any predictions, but I think it's the women that, they're stepping it up in these kind of matches. Because if you asked me a few years ago, like, oh, they're having a women's war game match before they started doing this, I would have been like, I don't know. But I feel like the women are keeping up with the men and going a little bit above and beyond.
It almost sucks because I feel like they have to work 3 times harder than the guys just to get some shine and get some recognition. It's a shame because there's some tough spots in that match. And I was just like, man. And not a single one, it appeared, got injured. Meanwhile, how many injuries did the men get? And they didn't do half of what the ladies did. So I feel like not only are they putting on a better show, but in some aspects, they're kind of protecting each other a little better.
No, for sure. And I always look at this and laugh because I always thought it would be fun, or I always thought it was funny for the person who bought ringside seats and then like during the show, they're in the other ring and it's like, fuck, I paid much money for a ringside seat
and you can't see shit.
I gotta watch from the ring to ring, the second ring over there. But it's just funny to think about it. How much room they need for both of these rings next to each other with that cage.
Here's one for you.
Yeah.
Whose mask for the orbital bone was worse, Rhea Ripley's or the Undertaker from way back in the day? Remember that ugly purple piece of shit that they made him wear?
It was ugly, but I'm like, I feel like Rhea's. It's not. I mean, you can't really make an effective mask for this kind of injury, and I get what they have to do. They made a black one for her. I don't know. I kind of dug the Undertaker's one back then. I was kind of cool for a little bit. Looking back on it, it's like, oh my God, he wore that. Even like Cody Rhodes wore it at one point where he had like the clear view, but that was for his whole, part of his gimmick too. I don't know. I don't think any of these masks are doing anybody justice, but no. I think she doesn't need to wear it anymore. I think, or unless she just has to wear it for some of the matches. But either way, those are crazy. This is where I tuned in though, Cooter. I turned it on during the Shinsuke Nakamura match versus LA Knight, and I want to talk to. I'm kind of curious about your thoughts, not just on this match, but almost just LA Knight in general. So, spoiler alert: LA Knight lost to Shinsuke Nakamura.
You don't say.
So Nakamura came back from. I wish I knew this beforehand, but like a few months. Yeah. It's been a while. He's been gone for a while. Came back as like a samurai like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, right? And now he's the United States champion. We've talked about this a lot with LA Knight to where the night last year Survivor Series when Randy Orton returned and CM Punk returned, that's when I think LA Knight's stock dove because he was on fire and people loved him. But then when he added the extra star power of like an Orton and a CM Punk, people started forgetting a little bit about LA Knight, I thought. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him. I'm not saying that I love him. I'm not going to go buy an LA Knight shirt, but I don't hate him. I'm not trying to hate on him.
Okay.
But I feel like what he's been doing isn't the same kind of stuff as what he was doing, or he's not as hot as what he used to be, kind of a thing. Has he lost his shine a little bit? Do you think this is the right move to take it off of him? And maybe
I think it's the
chase
right move to take it off him. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I always felt like there are people who are great holding the belt, and then there are people who are great chasing the belt. And I feel like he's one of those guys who's great chasing the belt, and then once he gets there, I don't know if it's him or if it's just the fact that they didn't really have a good lineup of guys for him to go up against. And that match with him and Nakamura, I mean, Nakamura looked great, crisp, clean. Did you see the entrance?
Yes, yeah.
This is like his 4th theme song for him. I know. They had the original one from NXT.
Yep.
Then they remixed that with like a live violin.
Yeah.
Then they did that rock and roll version. And now this one is super cool. Like, he's really great. He's like Chris Jericho. Well, let me take that back. Where Chris Jericho had a string of reinventions that were cool in a row. I mean, the last couple of ones are a little suspect.
Yep.
Sorry, Chris, but it is what it is. But I really dig this character. I think, because people get mad at the fact that, he doesn't speak English, he's worthless if he can't cut a promo. That. I like him speaking in Japanese and them, throwing in the subtitles and making it like a little more mysterious. It's like watching one of those old samurai movies. It's always been cool.
No, yeah.
Do we need another run of him going, me no speak English? I mean, as much as I love that, but like,
Yep.
What do you think?
No, with Shinsuke, it's weird because like he came in red hot. I think going back to NXT against Sami Zayn, I don't know what NXT it was. It was Brooklyn, right? I think was that his debut?
No, that was
Sami's.
I want to say was it Texas or
Something like that. But I know it was like one of his things. But he was red hot when he came in. Everybody loved the music and loved him. And then he kind of faded out. And I don't know, once again, if it was a Vince thing to where he wasn't cutting the promos that he wanted. Because I know Vince probably shot for everybody to cut a promo in English as best as they could. And these guys, that's not his first language. So it's not like something that he could do the best with. So giving him like that subtitle kind of a thing, giving him that kind of, he could still be himself, but we don't have to force him to speak broken English and make him look even worse on TV. Give him the subtitles. It looks, it's awesome. Like for Shinsuke, I don't need to hear these crazy 10-minute promos from him. Like I just need to see him do crazy stuff in the ring, kind of a guy. And I feel like he's been that go-to guy to either put the IC strap on or put now the United States Championship on to help elevate other guys. And I mean, he has the track record, he has the resume, if you will, of being able to hold like the second kind of tier championship. And for him, it's like a fresh coat of paint, I think, giving him this more of a heel gimmick, like that samurai kind of a look. It's different. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? To where,
you know what I think? I think I agree with you where it's a Vince thing where he wants everybody, but so many of the other stars, especially your Io Shirai and Kairi Sane and even Asuka's not the greatest English speaker, and they get over. I mean, especially Asuka. I mean, to this day, depending on where you are, you still hear those Asuka's going to kill you chants because the crowd just loves her in-ring work. It's not everybody has to be like this complete, well-rounded thing. That's why you have other people that complement each other. And I think Nakamura, unfortunately, has that bad rap because until you get somebody who really has like a great style with him who can help carry the story, because the match is going to be great if you have the right guy with him. You just need the right person to help him build the story, and I think that's been the problem for him.
Yeah, and like these two guys, LA Knight and Shinsuke, I think are your staples in the mid card. I don't see them going anywhere above that for the top tier championships. The world title. I don't see them getting out of this mid card purgatory, if you will, for anytime soon. I don't know. Maybe
did you feel like Knight got hurt during that match?
I don't know. It didn't look too much. I didn't see anything too much. He was a little off.
And even the announcers kept saying like, "Oh, he hasn't been right." So I'm like, I don't know if that was, part of the storytelling, but it just made for a match.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did showcase Shinsuke, but at the same time, I'm wondering if it was like, did he pull the Orton and didn't want to pull him over, so he gave him a match?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. It was probably the match that surprised me the most, but the one that I probably liked the least, unfortunately, because, like I said, to me, Shinsuke was great, and I think LA Knight kind of on that one.
No, for sure. And I think at the end of the day, I think Naka needed this. I think he needed this because he's gone up he's been in a lot of high profile matches to where it was either for a championship or with somebody, and he's just like, I feel like he's lost so many. So I feel like if you made him lose this one on a return, it's like, why do I have to care about Shinsuke? He's not a threat to me anymore, So at the end of the day, I think he needed this. I think LA, they need to figure out what to do with him, and I think he just needs to chase it till Mania.
Not only that, you can't have somebody have this grand return, put him in a title shot, and then have him lose.
I know,
because
it's like, what does it do?
He was losing on his way out before he came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the right move, unfortunately, and I think let's go.
No, for sure. So, sorry. So they had a little triple threat. They had Braun Breaker. He defeated Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for the WWE IC Championship. Thoughts about this? To me, it was one of those things where I didn't hate it. I didn't like it.
This is probably my favorite card in the match.
Really? I think the biggest thing out of this match for me is that I think more or less this was a spotlight for Kaiser. I think they're trying to elevate him more. And if you want to talk a little bit about it, but I think at the end of the day, no matter what happened in this, I think it was more or less putting a spotlight on Kaiser to kind of give him more of a mid-card status, if you will.
Well, the fact that they let him take out Sheamus the way he did was kind of cool. And now you're going to have this one-on-one with him and Breaker like we saw the next night on Raw. I thought that was cool. I really hate how, because you know how I love these internet wrestling fans. Oh, look what they're doing to Sheamus. Shut the fuck up. He's putting somebody over.
Yeah.
He's an older guy. You know, he's great at everything he does. He always puts on great matches. The guy's going to get his ass kicked once in a while. He's going to take some, he's going to take some L's.
Yeah.
And at this point, no matter who he goes up against, you're going to get a decent match out of him.
No, yeah.
And he makes everybody look good. I don't see what the problem is. Let the guy do what he does best, and that's have great matches. I don't care if he loses, but to me, I mean, the star is always going to be Braun Breaker. I mean, this guy's just incredible. Every time I see him, dude, when he starts running those ropes, that is so fast. I pants sometimes when he spears somebody.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I'm like, you see him hit that gut, I want myself. It's like, oh God.
I feel like they missed an opportunity where they could have used both of these rings, and he could have ran to the other ring and did a spear through the middle into the other one. It's probably too crazy. But just try to use that speed in this kind of a match.
Could you imagine him doing that spot where he runs around the ring, but doing around both of them?
Oh man, no, for sure. And it's one of those high-paced Steiner kind of a match. I think he's doing good where he is, and especially holding that IC championship. I don't see him losing it again. I said that before. I don't see him losing it anytime soon. No. He lost it, but then he got it right back. So, two-time champion. So, but like I said, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
I love this match.
And I wrote down on my notes, I was like, is Sheamus the new Nakamura? Because, you said the internet fans are saying to where he came back and lost it a little bit, but I'm like, has Sheamus had anything credible to win since he's kind of returned?
Does he need to?
I don't know, yeah.
I mean, the fact that they said that the IC title has eluded him his whole career was great little storyline to put him in this match. And it helps get Kaiser over when he takes him out. Yeah. And now we can have, that one-on-one match. We have somebody who's being built up that's going to be a credible opponent for Braun. It's just great long-term storytelling. Not this crash TV that we're getting on that other show. Oh my God, dude! I'm so glad. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
That we did not do an AEW review. Oh God! I got halfway through Cornette's podcast.
Yeah.
Right. About his review of that, and I'm like, I can't even listen. I love listening to him trash that show. It's probably the greatest and funniest thing ever. It's just gotten so old and so hacked that I'm just tired of it. I feel like I'm watching reruns. It's so bad. But
no, for sure.
But back to Braun, I got to say one more thing.
Yep.
You remember how I was always saying he works like Rick but talks like Scott?
Yeah.
I'm starting to notice, and especially I saw this one video on Instagram where they did a side-by-side of Scotty doing moves. He has taken more moves from Scott than he has from Rick. So now, I take it all back. I'm wrong. He works like Scott, and he talks like Scott.
Oh.
I cannot wait for the big bad Brawny Daddy.
I mean, he could have did like his father. He could have got those ear things for the side of his head. And
at this point, all he does is dress like his dad.
I know.
In that singlet, and that's cool. That's great. I think he's. I look forward to him more than anything else on Raw at this point.
I know, and he's the E in the entertainment, right? He's definitely entertaining to watch. Definitely high-paced matches. I was saying Steiner energy. It's like the high.
And that in-ring work has definitely gotten better too. I remember those first couple of ones where, I believe it was a match against Dragunov where we were making fun of the forearms, right? And it looked like Shane McMahon's really rabbit punches. Oh man, he's gotten so much better. Time heals all wounds, bro.
No, for sure. So one thing I'm kind of curious about too is we had another match. We had Gunther defeat Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, one of the things is that, like I said, LA Knight stock was kind of diving over the past year. Damian Priest's stock was kind of rising for a while, and I think ever since Mania, was it Mania that he lost it, or it's kind of gone downhill.
He won it at Mania.
Damian Priest?
Yeah,
no, he cashed it in. But
I'm
sorry, I don't know we're at the end of the year now, man.
I know, time flies, bro.
So, but I mean, with Gunther defeating him, I feel like it's weird because Gunther kind of had all these powerful wins. And now he's winning with some help, the heel way, a little bit. But Damian Priest, man, I feel like we keep getting the interference with Balor and all that. And I'm like, how many matches are we gonna just every match, every championship fight that he has, is going to be an interference from Balor, or how long are they going to stretch that out for?
Yeah, because, I feel like they're trying to do the same thing with Finn and Damian Priest that they did with CM Punk and McIntyre.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't have the same shine. You know what I mean? It's not working for me. They have to, blow this off, pause, as soon as possible, because like it's at this point, it's just getting annoying.
Yeah.
And I want to disagree with what you're saying though. Mm-hmm. I feel like before he won the belt at Mania and he cashed in, his stock was going up.
Yeah.
When he won it is when it started going down.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like once he lost it, it was like, oh, I up. And you've heard me the last couple of weeks. His promos have gotten better. He's been more aggressive. He's not this quiet. He's not trying to be that cool guy. He's just trying to be more of a monster because, he's a big dude. I don't want to see this big, tall, like New York City, Puerto Rican dude sitting there trying to act cool like Razor Ramon. I get that's your hero, but it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's got to be this powerful, dominant, like, persona. And he's got to talk like hardcore, not just like soft-spoken, okay, guys, blah, 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 blah. No, man. I want... When he made that line to Gunther about you might be a general in the ring, but in the streets, I'm a king. I was like, oh, yeah. That was your moment, and you killed it, and good for you, bro. Like, ever since then, I feel like he's starting to go back up.
Yeah.
It's just, they need to end with him in the Judgment Day because
it's
even the Rhea and Liv is starting to get old with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm over it.
No, because I'm like, all right, he wasn't taken as a credible champion by cashing in for the championship. Okay. But now that he's had, I feel like this is his second, maybe, I don't know. To me, it feels like it's the third time he's gone after the world title or something like that, even though I know it's not. But, how many times you're going to put him in this match to lose it to where, okay, he's not credible to me anymore. They should have kept him away from it after he lost and put him in another high-profile kind of a match or something, because when you're doing something like this to where he keeps losing by interference to get a Damian Priest versus Finn Balor match, I thought we already did that. Didn't we already have that kind of a thing? And you know what I mean? To where I'm like, okay, they're stuck in this like kind of limbo of like, what do we do with him? We're not going to put him in the championship match, but if we do, it's going to be, interference kind of a match. So I know we're having Gunther versus Balor at Saturday night's main event this weekend. I'm sure it's going to be interference from Damian Priest on
Of
Finn.
course. So it's like, why even watch?
I know. So we know it's going to go, but like, where does this go to? We're going to go to the Rumble for Finn Balor, Damian, or are they going to screw each other in the Rumble? Or is this going to go all the way till Mania? Or for what though? Or,
why? And the only thing that's been interesting to me about this is Dominic, when he got the shot, right?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't help him. Judgment Day wouldn't help him because Finn's a jealous prick. It's like eventually they have to turn this to where they kick Finn out.
Yeah.
Does Damian Priest go back to Judgment Day? Because that would be cool.
I know. So
that would be cool.
It's something with these guys because, they're all top tier wrestlers, right? But it's like they're not using them where they should be using them right now, and who knows what's going to happen. But it is what it is, kind of a match. I was kind of like multitasking there in this match.
I love that match too, though.
You liked it? Yeah.
There wasn't a match on this card I didn't enjoy.
No, it was a whole good show overall, I think, altogether.
I think Gunther especially, as much as we've been talking about Damian, we gotta give a lot of respect. We got to put some respect on Gunther's name.
Yep.
Because he's great storyteller. It's just, you see him like kind of nervous at the beginning and then just building that confidence during the match. It's just the little things that like really make me think that he's that guy. He really is. He's doing what Damian Priest should have been doing.
Yeah.
He really is a complete character. I think he needs to show a little bit more, emotion and maybe some anger in some of the promos. But like when he's doing beatdowns and just like in the ring and all that other stuff, or he's just being cocky, it's perfect.
No, for sure. No, overall a great show. I think and closing on the men's the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, where the OG Bloodline wins, thanks from a save from a CM Punk in the match. where what's his name? I don't know what he did, but I think I sent the video in our group chat.
Oh yeah, Bronson Reed.
Yeah, so he landed on his foot. They didn't. Did they say they? I think Triple H said something after the show, but he didn't say exactly what happened. But he totally shattered or something his ankle because he landed on it. Big guy should not be jumping from the top of the cage, man. No, I'm a big dude. He's a bigger dude, and I would not be jumping off there because however much he weighs, coming down however far, it ain't going to be pretty, man. And so, cool spot, dumb spot. I don't know. He's probably going to be out for a while.
Poor Jacob. I mean, I don't know if his, because he was definitely limping around. Or maybe he was just selling, but that knee looked like it was fucked up.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him because he put on a hell of a show. And just every aspect of that match, from every single entrance, like to the point where, like, when Tongaloa was going to go in, and he just, or he just grabbed him and said, Jacob.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, and then Roman trying to do that to Punk.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my God, you're just trying to one up Solo and you just pissed off Punk.
Nope.
Like, just the little things. Their storytelling in that match was f***ing perfect. Now, again, the in-ring action wasn't the greatest. The one thing that I loved the beginning was Jay and Tama Tonga. I want to see more of that. Yeah. I think those two had great chemistry.
No, for sure. I think, the Gorillas of Destiny versus the original Usos.
No. We could put, because you know what I was laughing at?
Yeah.
So when you had that final 5-on-5 when Punk came with Heyman, did you notice who was like in front, like closest to the camera side? I want to say it was Jimmy and Tongaloa. Yeah. I'm like, of course, they put like the scrub of the group against the scrub of the group. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate saying that about Jimmy, but compared to the rest of the talent, he's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I always thought that so fucking funny. And he's just crawling around that cage like a spider. That guy is amazing.
No, for sure. I saw some. That's exactly it. So I saw some people online too talking about this. I think CM Punk did a spot on Jacob, and then Jacob popped right up, and didn't really sell the move. Some people online were complaining about it, but then I also saw some people saying, "Well,
he's a Samoan.
Exactly.
You can't hit him in the head."
Everybody
knows that. I knew that growing up as a kid. Right. When there was the head shrinkers, if you hit him with a pile driver, they would go.
No, I saw some of that too because he popped up. Some people are like, "What is this? He's not even selling the move." But then, people don't understand. He's a Samoan, right? You got to do more than that.
Kids, you're kids in your 20s. You don't know about wrestling. You can't hit a Samoan in the head.
No, that's it.
That's it.
There is something I do want to talk about, but we're going to bring it up in a little bit. But no, overall, this match, I think it worked. There's still intrigue behind it because now I feel like, they're building up something with Roman and something with Punk. Maybe, I don't know what, there's a favor involved. I think we could talk about that in a little bit coming up. But I think that's kind of been sitting on this to where they made sure that the camera mics heard it. They made sure we got the point across that CM Punk did this for a favor and he's going to cash in on that favor. When, where, what? What do you think this favor is? Because I have an idea, but I'm kind of curious. Do you have any ideas what you think this is going to lead up to?
Oh, if he gets the belt, then, he's going to want a title shot at Mania. Or, hey, maybe I want Paul as my wise man.
Oh, yeah.
That's the favor. He's mine now.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many ways I'm done making predictions because lately, because back in the days, we could sit here and literally predict anything and everything that was going to happen.
And now they're just going by the wing of the,
Now I'm like, oh, this is great. I love being wrong. I love being wrong. You heard me. I love being wrong. Don't let my girl hear that.
A new shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com/Another Wrestling Podcast. Get the Angry Cooter I Am Wrong shirt.
No. I love being wrong. What the are we doing, Greedo?
No, for sure. No, so overall, it was a great Survivor Series. I'm still intrigued of what's going to happen. I feel like this Punk thing. He said it on Raw. He was pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and it's hinting towards he hasn't had a main event match at WrestleMania.
He's earned it.
And so whether it's for the championship or not, I feel like they already know that maybe The Rock's not going to be in it this year, or what's going to happen. I feel like they said something about that too, to where they don't know if The Rock's going to be at Mania this year.
What's he going to do, Moana 3? This guy, just stop. At what point do you not have enough money, right? Just do what you're passionate about. Like, dude, these people want to see you're going to sell out stadiums. You can't sell out a theater with your movies anymore, but you could certainly sell out a stadium. The payday might not be as good, but do you really need the money at this point?
I'm saying.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, come the on, dude. You know what the irony of this is?
Yeah.
So when he came back to do the John Cena thing and Punk was champion, and he beat Punk, right? And Punk wasn't in the main event. It's like, oh yeah, the part-timer came back, so I can't have my event. Look, he left for how many years? Yeah. He's coming back. I'm not gonna say he's a part-timer, but he works a pretty relaxed schedule. Yeah. And now he might get the main event. He did what The Rock did. Yep. You know, it's like John Cena, who you on The Rock for leaving and going to Hollywood. What the did you do, John? Boy, I'm an asshole right now. Oh, this is great. I'm glad this is our last show of the year because, man, if I come back and do another one, I'm going to really get us canceled.
No, this is great. So,
we're never getting another interview again.
Well, going back to the favor, I feel like that's a big writing on the wall. I mean, what else could it be? It's something to where, okay, whatever's going to happen, whether it involves a championship or not, I think the main event at Mania, a Roman versus Punk match, to watch them come out on their own, the crowd is loves them, right? Biggest pops of the night for whatever. They're still huge in their own respect. Like a Punk and a Roman match is a good main event for like a WrestleMania.
It is, but unfortunately, that will be a night one.
Yeah.
and you know what? I know in the back of Punk's mind,
he needs that night too. Yeah,
I need that night too. I need to go on dead last because I earned it.
Yep.
I feel like he has.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Is he as good as he was 10 years ago? No. But we put Batista in the main event.
I know,
when
right?
he was gone for like 3 or 4 years.
I think time to cash in on that. I feel like he has the fan power for it. So
yeah,
we need. I'm intrigued to what this favor could be. But like you said, we did a lot this year for AWP here at Beacon Podcasting. Sal from Beacon Podcasting, guys. BeaconPodcasting.io. We came back in April around WrestleMania. I forget. It's been a long time. So we brought it back to video, right? We've been doing a lot of things, but we're talking about wrestling.
Yes.
There's other people that talk about Italian food right here at Beacon Podcasting. The Prosciutto Show, right? Shout out to the guys over there. Another show.
Dude, I like that.
He loves the show, right? Yeah,
I do.
He loves it.
It's a little guilty pleasure. I love you guys. I really do.
And I wish I were a prosciutto. Check it out, guys. But that's another Beacon Podcasting podcast. And what we're doing and what we did here this year, I feel like everybody in the Hudson Valley needs to check it out. It's right off 84, right near the Metro North station in Beacon.
Dude, don't tell everybody where the we are.
Well, we gotta know where
now they're gonna come over here. I've been talking for the last half hour. Sally's trying to get us killed.
I think having The Rock show up and be
right.
Be good for his
I'm at the top of the list.
But no, overall, I think we're gonna do seasons with this show. So we're getting ready for Christmas. We got a few weeks left to go there. There's a lot of things to look forward to. So in the weeks ahead, we're gonna be back in January. But in the weeks ahead, let's talk a little bit about 2025. Right, it's only a few weeks away. One of the biggest things for 2025 happening is a John Cena farewell tour. And I can't remember, I don't think anybody's ever had a chance to have a farewell tour in wrestling where they kind of announced it saying, hey, 2025, this is the year I'm going out.
It reminds me of?
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie, Forget About Paris?
Yeah. With
Billy Crystal as the NBA referee?
Yep.
And he throws Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of the game. It's my farewell tour. Well, let me be the first to say farewell. Get the out of here, John. I'm tired of your bald spot. Just go on Men's Hair Now with Shawn Michaels and get the out of here.
The Cena farewell tour. I think, I guess 2025 Peacemaker 2 will come out. I think they're shooting it or shot it or whatnot. So
that's such a great show. Did you watch the first season?
I love it. It's really good. They said everything's canon except for the very last scene in the episode where he kind of says go to Aquaman. So that's not canon.
No,
in
you told
DC.
him a fish.
Yeah, go fuck it. So everything else is canon except for that. So,
really?
Yeah, that's what James Gunn said. So everything in that is canon except for that scene. So whatever you want to take with that. But anyway, so I mean, Cena being in Peacemaker 2 next year, him and his farewell tour, Cena stock is rising.
It's going to be a good year for him.
Yeah, so I mean, for him, whether he's going to be in any other kind of movies, it's going to be the year Cena. And I think if we had, I know you don't want to predict anything, but for a Cena farewell tour, does he have to lay down in every match going out?
No.
Do you think we're gonna get? Do you think we're gonna get any kind of another title run? Could he surpass Ric Flair? He's what? They're both 17?
16.
16. So could he surpass a Ric Flair? Or I don't know what you could do with him. I mean, you have to have him in the big matches. But
I don't see them letting him beat Cody.
No, I know. It's going to be interesting because it's like,
could you see him beating Gunther?
I could see it.
That could be a great little story.
And whoever he beats for a championship, as long as, I guess, he repays the favor on the way out. So if he gets a championship just to surpass it, I hope he puts over whoever he beat.
So this will be his last WrestleMania.
Yep.
But he'll still be wrestling throughout the year.
Yep.
So that, you know what his last match is probably going to be?
What's that?
Madison Square Garden.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they always run that, or was it a day or two after Christmas?
Yeah.
So that'll be the end of the year, unless they run Boston Garden after that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I don't know if they released the I don't think
schedule yet.
Yeah, I don't think there's a schedule yet. But if there is, whatever. But I mean, it's the year of Cena, so we'll see what he does with that. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I think we're going to see him surpass Ric Flair, if anything.
I don't know.
Maybe
that would be weird for me.
Yeah.
But then you know what? If he were to, I don't know. I'm gonna say, when do you put the belt on him? I was thinking, like, do we get like maybe a Punk Cena for the belt on night 2? That might be interesting.
Yeah.
But is that night 2 worthy main event? After all the great stories that we have,
I know.
And you're going to put 2 part-timers to close the show, you might as well throw The Rock in there too.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Fuck 'em, man.
Yeah.
It's Senior Citizen Day.
No, for sure. So I mean,
You know what I'm looking forward to in 2025?
What's that?
Our very first week.
Yeah.
That's right, January 4th.
January 4th, ACW.
ACW.
Hell yeah.
Finally getting wrestling back in the Hudson Valley, and Daddy is very happy. We had Hale Collins and Vic Delicious here last week. That was a great little show.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing these guys live, promote a show in Poughkeepsie at the MJN Center. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. This is ACW.com, guys. Get your tickets, meet and greets. Not trying to sell it, but I'm trying to sell it because it's in our backyard.
That's right.
I mean, you could say what you want, say what you will, but this is a pro wrestling show right up the street from us in our hometown. And it's like we've been missing it for so long.
I know.
And
I know.
This is what we're doing. We're doing another wrestling podcast, and we're gonna have a pro wrestling show in our hometown. So
support our local people. goddammit. Shop local.
That's right.
Shop local.
This is ACW.com. It's going to be a hell of a year, and I think what better way to kick it off on January 4th than with our own pro wrestling show right in our own hometown. So
see, I threw you a curveball. You didn't think I was going to do that.
I didn't know where you were going. That was great.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I can't cut promos. Yeah.
And we'll probably have some exclusive stuff on our app with ACW. So stay tuned with that one, guys. It's really great to be able to talk about a pro wrestling show in your own town, in your very own backyard. So very cool. I want to go back to Punk's favor though. I know we talked a little bit about it, but I just kind of want to go ahead a little bit about this because we've heard it. He pointed to the WrestleMania sign. We talked about it. Is it too obvious that we could get a CM Punk Roman Reigns kind of a match? But like, what else is there, or what else could there be? Is there anything in the back of your mind you think, what's the B side of this? Okay, if he gets the Roman match, or if he gets the WrestleMania match, okay. But what else could there be? Because I mean, he had a little spat with Seth Rollins on Raw about going back and forth with each other, seeing maybe a program with them coming up the next few weeks.
I always thought that's where they wanted to go.
Yeah. And they didn't get to have it, right? So was it he was injured from last year?
You got to remember, he came back Survivor Series last year.
That's right. Yep.
Got hurt in the Rumble, and they were going to angle with him versus Seth for Mania.
Yeah, and
then that changed plans, and then Cody won. He was probably going to win anyway, but whatever. The card got changed like 2 or 3 times apparently, and I really would have loved to see Punk and Seth because I feel like the build-up would have been great.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even when he's not there, he's building up this awesome program with McIntyre.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to.
And it just returned too. Just came out of the shadows.
I am looking forward to him in 2025 because I think he's going to be in line for some big things. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I could see him having a match with Gunther.
No, for sure. And because I'm kind of curious because, like I said, I feel like are they painting that picture of it's too obvious that he's going to get a Mania match, but then you also have that Seth Rollins curveball, and then he didn't get to have that last year, so do they finish it this year?
Yeah.
A lot of things could happen, but I'm kind of curious, like, what's that favor? I feel like they're stating too many obvious things. I feel like we're going to get a curveball, like you just did too. So I don't know what's going to happen. But
I still want to know what The Rock put in Cody's hand last year after Mania.
We're
never going to find out.
I don't know why The Rock came back a few pay-per-views ago and just stood there at the exit.
What the was the point of that? Now I'm even more confused.
So,
If I don't see The Rock at the Rumble causing some...
Number 30.
Yeah.
I got to see something.
What are we doing?
I know.
What the are we doing?
I'm saying. One thing we didn't talk about too, this year was the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, and they had a little promo on there where the New Day went heel on Big E, blamed him for breaking his neck.
Did you see this coming at all?
I did not see them getting mad at him for breaking his neck, I'll tell you that. But
that was so great.
I knew.
I felt like Christian Cage wrote that promo for him.
I knew Xavier Woods was doing like the heel thing for a while, and Kofi was kind of like, no, trying to keep it cool. Then all of a sudden, Kofi's turning heel, and Xavier Woods on Big E. And I have to tell you this.
Pause.
What are your thoughts though with Big E? Because I feel like I've seen too many times of him saying on TV, I don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen with my career. I might not, but I'm still happy at the end of the day to do what I'm doing now. Yada, yada, yada. I feel like they've talked about it too much of him not sure if he's going to return. To do this kind of a segment for New Day, in my mind, I feel like this could be a great story to having Big E return and do like a match against both of them or something to where maybe we get the where it eventually turns into a New Day face turn. But I mean, they just went heel, so it's a little too soon for that. I feel like that kind of a promo that they did though is something to where the writing's on the wall that Big E's going to return. Is that feasible or no?
I don't think it's feasible. I mean, I like the idea. I'll give you that. I feel like he's too up.
Yeah.
Some people, and he's big. Like somebody like Edge, maybe smaller. I don't know how the body works. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to see these guys go out there and do something that could their lives. You know what I mean? However, that segment was what the New Day needed for months.
Yeah.
We've seen them in storyline after storyline with that stuff. What the is that group with AOP and what's his face? Killer Cross there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even. Exactly. You guys are so irrelevant that I don't even know your name, right? But I guess the point I'm trying to make is like it's just been one bad story after another, and it's probably the greatest thing that ever happened to him because you got to remember when the New Day started, they were heels.
Yeah,
they were going to do this like militant thing, and then it turned into something.
Well, it was like preachers, right? They're going to do like preachers or something. It was like
you got to go back to the way they formed. They were like literally about this like. It felt like they were going to do something and be like this militant group, very much like Nation of Domination. It had that vibe to it. And then when they started rolling, it turned into like this heel preacher thing. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is different. And then they got over his faces and everybody loved it. But this is what they needed because they've been probably running they're 10 years in and they've been running as faces for probably 9 of them.
I know.
This is what they needed.
Yeah.
They had to be put in Dude, they were so bad they got put back in NXT for a while. Like nobody wanted to watch these guys. Now I'm invested. I'm like, okay.
And 2/3 of them were WWE champion at one point, and then like poor Xavier Woods still the odd man out. But it's
he got Paige's belt though.
Kids can Google it.
Wait a minute. I saw the greatest thing today.
Censors, get ready.
No. So when Xavier was in the ring, it was one of those like disturbing comment like posts on Instagram, and one of the comments was, "Look at him, he's dressed like Brad Maddox."
Oh,
he got the vest and everything. I was like, "Oh shit, that was so funny." I was laughing for 5 minutes straight, dude. Oh God, Instagram, you are a horrible place.
Social media, it is like a fresh coat of paint for them. We haven't seen them be heels, and I mean to kind of throw their buddy under the bus, and now give the New Day a new tag team heel persona. I think it's great. I think it's definitely what they needed. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with it because they're too they've been so friendly. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to be as heels. You know what I mean?
Who are the Raw champs right now? Oh, that's right.
Motor City Machine Guns.
That's SmackDown. Balor and God damn.
I know. I keep forgetting who's in where.
Oh God, I feel so bad. But you have skinny legs like Adam Cole. Like you got them short little Funko Pop legs.
Yeah, JD Funko.
Yeah, it's JD Funko Pop. Yeah, that's his name.
That's from Cornette calls him that because of his big noggin, square head, big. But no, I'm kind of curious where it goes with the New Day. But I'm saying at the end of the day, when I saw this kind of a promo, and I've seen him talk about this a few times now, I feel like the writing's on the wall that he's gonna probably return. I know you're saying I don't think he's gonna, but I feel like
I don't think he should. I don't
know the severity of it. Is it like a Daniel Bryan thing where he hurt and he was out and then he came back, or like an Edge thing, or what was the severity?
Who the fuck do you get?
I mean, he broke his neck.
Who the fuck do you get if you're Big E to be your partner against these two? Now that's a great question.
How about that dude they got rid of? That dude they got rid of. That was going to be.
God, let's bring back Odyssey Jones.
We were watching it the other day. My wife even said, she's like, wow, he looks so tiny now. And like, we're used to seeing Big E being big, but I know he had a suit on, but still, I don't know how much he's lost underneath like his mass from not being able to work out like he used to. I don't know. I know we're gonna say pause or not.
No, I was thinking about it. You were teetering that line, bro. Yeah.
So I mean, like, just from him talking about it, I feel like to me, they wouldn't talk about it if they didn't know there was going to be a plan down the road for something like this. Because I could see him coming in and doing Big E versus the New Day, or Big E versus Kofi and Xavier, and kind of like a handicap match. But I don't, that's kind of hearsay.
You know why I want to disagree with you also is because like we've seen guys like Daniel Bryan, we've seen guys like Edge. Now they came back, but prior to them coming back, we've seen them come in and do in-ring promos. Like they used Edge a couple of times.
Yeah.
They used Christian when he like retired for a little while, a couple of times, and he got the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Like just little things where just to help move storylines, you bring some of these guys in for the cheap pop and get something going. So, dude, I'd love to see him. I don't want to see him though.
I know.
Like
you're worried.
Yeah, dude.
No, I know. It's. I mean,
but you didn't answer the question. Who do you get to be his partner, though?
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Do you have somebody? I don't know.
Oh, see, you're going to make me be that guy?
Oh, you're going to say Brad Maddox?
No. Oh, God.
I don't know. That's what we're going with. That'd be weird. I don't know. Horrible. What are you going to say? What are you going to say?
The name that you thought you'd never hear in a Survivor Series recap 3 times now?
We brought him back to life. That's it. Everyone's going to be Googling it if you haven't yet, but no.
Never mind. Go ahead. Anyway.
I don't know. I have no idea who else you'd pick to be his partner. Who do you think?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Could you imagine if it was Mike Shapiro would pop for this one?
Yeah.
Omos. Omos.
Yeah.
You get these two giant people. If Big E's like they're going to play the whole thing where, he might not be able to protect himself, it would be like when Shawn Michaels came back for that match against Triple H and it was unsanctioned and, they didn't want to be responsible. Well, I'm just going to bring this, what is his name? The giant Nigerian or whatever, the Nigerian giant, I think it is.
Yeah.
Whatever is, dude, could you imagine? You got these two big, massive men just beating up on poor little Kofi and poor Xavier's Wood.
Poor Xavier's Wood. I see what you did there. I got it, but no.
You didn't say pause.
No pause. Keep going. It's all right. But no, I think, like, where's he been, too, to where I feel like they were utilizing him, and then I don't know I don't know if he's just doing house shows or what the guy's doing.
He was on Undertaker's podcast not too long ago, too.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's weird. What are the plans for him? Are they going to actually use him again? Because, I mean, I don't know. He could still do stuff.
He'll be the guy that everybody teams up against to throw out of the Rumble. He'll be like the surprise.
Yeah, right.
The big surprise is going to be Omos.
Yeah.
And if you know what would be so funny is I do not a draft. What do they do? Like a lottery.
Yeah.
Where you draw a number, and whoever your guy is on that number, you got to hope he wins, and then you get the pot. You throw in some money. Yep. Mike Shapiro is going to get Omos this year. He's going to get Omos.
it's a new day after all, Cooter. I mean, we did a lot this year for this. I think we got to go out with this season for holiday. We'll be back, though, in January. Don't go too far, guys. We're going to be interviewing some people. We're going to be talking ACW. January 4th, we'll see you in Poughkeepsie.
Yes, we will.
I mean, what a year so far. We're going to take a little holiday break, and we'll be back in January.
Some of us got to do.
I know. We got a life, guys. We're 40 years old.
Come on. I'm missing the Knicks game for this. I want you to notice.
And that's a very big deal, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back. BeaconPodcasting.io. Check them out.
Sal, get us the f*** out of here.